Okay, before starting rational and irrational students, rational, irrational numbers, you will know the types of numbers. What are the different types of numbers? Whole numbers. Okay, no, 1 minute. Fraction. 1 minute. Yeah, who is this student? Nino John. Yes, some other student has joined. The name of Nino. Is it Ruth? Yeah, Nino John. Who is a student? Ania Fatima. Can you unmute the call, students? Okay, I think yeah, this is Ruth, right? Hello, sir. Yes, yes, I'm Ruth. Okay, fine, Ruth. Stay online. What about Ania Fatima? They're online. Yeah. Okay, fine, student. Yeah, we have just started. I'll talk to Ruth and Anya. I'll talk to you all later after the class. Fine. First, concentrate. Yeah, concentrate. Yes, sir. Rational and irrational number. This is a new chapter. Before starting rational and irrational numbers, do you know the types of numbers? What are the different types of numbers we have? Types of numbers. Natural numbers. Natural numbers. And integers. Yes, natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, then fraction. Fractions. Yes, fractions. So all of you should unmute and answer. First, natural numbers. What do you mean by natural numbers, students? Numbers beginning from one. One. And these students, can you all see the screen? Ania and Ruth? Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Fine, students. Natural number starts from one. Okay, it's a complete value. Anything which is physically present, natural number starts from one, two, three, and so on. It goes on. What about whole number? Whole number starts from zero. Zero, one, two, three. Okay, we know this. Next, integers. Natural and whole numbers are only positive numbers. What about integers? Integers as negative, zero, and positive. Yes, negative, zero, and positive. So it has -5, -4, -3, then -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. All these are negative numbers. We call it as integers. So integers will have negative, zero, and positive. In this natural and whole numbers or integers, in that subdivision, we have even numbers. We, you know what is even, right? Even numbers, odd numbers, those type of things. Next, coming to fraction, students. What do you mean by fraction? What is fraction? A number which is the form of P upon Q. P upon Q. Okay. So basically, it is numerator by denominator. Yes, a part of whole, right? So fraction is nothing but a part of whole. It will have a numerator and denominator. For example, very basic concept. Like in your junior classes, well, if one entire cake you cut into four parts and you shade a region, you write 1/4. All these are fraction. So fraction is nothing but numerator by denominator. In general, they tell P by Q. You do when there are two numbers P by Q, you call it fraction, and the value of Q shouldn't be equal to zero. Okay, it can be negative, positive, but it shouldn't be equal to zero. This is known as fraction. Right? Now I'll give you all a few fraction questions. Try to divide and get the answer. Basically, fraction will have numerator by denominator. Right? For 10th standard, for ninth, you'll have decimal concept, decimal, terminating decimals. Before starting that, 1 divided by 4. How do you solve this, students? How do you divide it? Whatever is in the numerator, you write it inside, denominator outside. 4 is greater or lesser than 1? Is 4 greater or lesser than 1? Is greater than 1. Yes. So you cannot divide that. Instead, what do? You keep a 0 point and you add 0 to this. All of you will divide this. Divide the students. So I think the answer is 0.25. Okay, 0.25. So for 2's are 8. Remainder is 2. Just because we have kept a point, you can add extra 0 to it. For 5's are 20. Is it 0.25? Did you all get 0.25? Okay, next. One more question. 14 divided by 5. Divide 14 divided by 5. Yes, Angel. 2.8. Yeah, Anya, Angel, what's the answer? What did you all get? 5 2's are 10. 2.8. Okay, 4. Keep a point. 0, 8. 2.8. So 14 divided by 5 is equals to 2.8. Okay. One more question. 3 divided by 8. Fine. Even 3 divided by 8, you get the same thing. 2 divided by 3, students. Try 2 divided by 3. All of you will try 2 divided by 3. See, again, 3 is greater than 2. You keep a 0 point. 3 6 are 18. Sir, it's a 0.66. It goes on, right? Yes. Yes. Yeah, 0.66. Is there any, you can't, the number, the value doesn't stop, student. It goes on, right? 0.66. Yes. So look here, let me write 20 divided by 3. Okay, what about Abigail, Ananya? Here done? Yes. See, you'll have to try, students. If you try, then you'll understand the concept. So 20 divided by 3 is 0.66. It goes on. 0.6 goes on. See, all these are fraction, right? 1 by 4, 14 by 5, 20 by 3. In the beginning, I explained fraction is nothing but numerator by denominator, P by Q. What about these numbers? 0.25. When point is given, what do you call these type of numbers as? Decimal. Very good. Decimal numbers. These are known as decimal numbers. These are known as decimal. In decimal, observe 0.25. After 0.25, is there any other value or has it stopped? Calculation is done, right? Yes, sir. Ended. Yes. We also call it as terminating decimal. What do you call this as? Terminating decimal. All these are decimals. Yes, all these are decimal. In that, there are three types of decimal. One is terminating. Okay, I'll explain. Recurring, terminating. So, what do you mean by terminating, students? What do you mean by terminate? Have you heard the word terminate? Yes. Stop or end. You call it a stop or end. Something which stops or something which ends. We call it as terminate. 2.8 is also terminate. It stopped. Our calculation is stopped. The remainder is 0. The other meaning of this terminating decimal is our remainder will always be 0. Whereas 0.6 is 66 is not a terminating. The numbers are repeating, right? Is it repeating? Repeating, we also call it as reoccur. Isn't it reoccurring? The values are reoccurring. We combine the word reoccurring and the word is recurring decimal. This is known as recurring decimal. So natural number is done, whole number, integer, fraction. In fraction, we have three types. In that, decimal, terminating, and repeating. So what is the second type of decimal? First one is terminating decimal. Okay, next repeating, that is recurring decimal. Then we have decimal, yeah, in fraction, decimal fraction. We call it decimal fraction. I'll explain that. Who has doubt? Okay. Ruth, right? Yes, sir. Okay. See, now, even without dividing, students, even without dividing, you have to find what type of fraction is terminating. Even without division, you have to find what type of fraction is terminating. Look here, we have three questions. I have given three questions here. 1 by 4, 14 by 5, 20 by 3. Out of these three questions, which two questions are terminating? 1 by 4, 3 by 5. Look at the decimal number, look at the denominators. 1 by 4. What is 1 by 4, students? What is the denominator given in 1 by 4? 4. Find the factors of 4. If I find the factors of 4, are we getting 1 into 4, 2 into 2? When I split it, are we getting 2 into 2? Okay. Here the denominator is 5, right? So from this, yes, yeah, even without dividing, yes, students, even without dividing, if the denominator, is in the multiples of 2 or 5, it is always a terminating fraction. The value will always be terminating. The denominator should be in the multiples of 2 and 5. What about the other one, 20 by 3? What is the denominator? 3. 3. So, is it terminating or repeating? Is the value terminating or repeating? Repeating. Yeah, the value will definitely repeat if it's not in the multiple of 2 or 2 and 3. Okay, first I'll explain. You don't have to write anything. I'll explain. Later I'll give you all time to make a note of it. Okay, I'll give you another question. Without dividing it, students, without dividing, just tell me the final answer. 15 divided by 20. Without dividing, what's the first step you'll have to do? Check the denominator. Okay, check the denominator. Find the factors of denominators. What do you get? 2 into 10. Next, 2 into 5 and 5 into 1. What are the factors of 20? 2 into 2 into 5. All this, yes, it is a multiple of 2 and 5, right? It has 2 and 5 in the denominator. Yes, sir. Yeah, anything apart from 2 and 5? Anything up? No. So will it be terminating or recurring? Will this be terminating decimal? Yes, it will definitely be terminating. Yes, it will definitely be terminating. Just divide this and check once. Yeah, and one more thing, students. One more thing before instead of 15, I'll give the value as 17. Take it as 17 and do it. 17 divided by 20. Seventeen inside, 20 out. So 20 is greater than 17. Keep a 0.170. It's very simple. Find the factors of the denominator. If it's in the multiple of 2 and 5, it will definitely be terminating decimal. So the answer is 0.85. Okay, 0.85. Let me check. Fine. The Ruth got 0.85. What about others? Ananya, Ania, Angel, yes, the same answer. Abigail, Kia. Okay, try it, students. See, 20 into 6, 20 into 8 is 160. 10. Then there is a decimal here. You add a zero to it. 20 into 5 is 100. Okay. Anya, Angel, Ruth, do you all know all these values? Whenever there is decimal, you can add a zero. Do you all know the steps for division? Yes. Yes, sir. Okay. So 0.85 students. Is it recurring or terminating? The value has stopped? Terminating. Yeah. What about the remainder? Terminating. Remainder is also zero, yes, right? Okay. So remember this concept. They might ask you for MCQ. In a terminating decimal numbers, what will be the value of remainder? Remainder will always be zero. 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 Yeah. So to solve the questions, it is very easy, but you'll have to understand the concept. In terminating decimal, the remainder will always be zero. Okay, this is the concept. That's it. If you know this, we can start solving the questions. Okay, I'll give you all one more question. Try 11 divided by 6. Even without dividing, you have to let me know the answer. 11 divided by 6. Check the denominator. No, all the values. See, find the factors of 6. Non-terminating, sir. Non-terminating. Non-terminating, sir. Okay. Yes. Ruth, what is the factors? What is the factors of 6? 2 threes are 6, 3 ones are 3. Oh, yes, sir. So when I try to split the 6 students, 2 into 3, right? 11 will stay as it is, 2 into 3. So what did I tell you? The denominator should be only in multiples of 2 and 5. But we have 3 here, right? 3. So will 11 by 6 be a terminating or recurring? Terminating or non-terminating? Non-terminating, not recurring, non-terminating. Okay. So you don't have to try it. It will definitely be non-terminating. Wait, let me solve and show it. 11, 6. 6 ones are 6, remainder is 5. Keep a point, 0. 6 eights are 48. Okay. 6 eights are 48 and it goes on. If you divide this, there is no end to it. The meaning of termination is terminating is end. For non-terminating, there is no end. The remainder will never be 0. Again, 2, 0, 6 threes are 18. 2. It goes on. What's the value we get? 1.833, right? The value gets repeated. Okay. So whenever value gets repeated like this, students, can you see 3 is being repeated? What do you call this decimal as? What do you call? Recurring decimal. Recurring decimal or non-terminating. So don't get confused between terminating and non-terminating. It is the opposite. Non-terminating. Okay, that's it. This is about terminating, non-terminating decimals. Now recurring and decimal fraction. Next concept we have repeating or recurring decimal. Okay, divide 1 by 3 students. All of you will divide 1 by 3. What's the answer you get for 1 by 3? 3. No, 1 by 3. 0 point, you keep a 0. 3 threes are 9. 0.33. It goes on, right? 0.33. Yes. Yeah, yes. Even in the beginning, I told you, whenever values get repeated like this, look, 3, you call it as recurring decimal. When a number has point, you call decimal. After decimal, if the number keeps repeating, you call it as recurring decimal. We call it as recurring decimal. Yeah, you all can make a note of this recurring or repeating decimals. Repeating decimal. Fine. Tell me, is it a terminating or non-terminating, students? Look at the denominator. Terminating or non-terminating? Very good. Non-terminating. In non-terminating, a special name is given, recurring or repeating. The reason is the values are getting repeated. It is a non-terminating as well as recurring value. Non-terminating and recurring. Repeating decimal. And there's another question. There are a lot of questions like this. 22 by 7. If you divide 22 by 7, we would get, just take down these values, students. 1 by 3, you all tried it. For 22 by 7, I'll give the answer. It is 3.14285. Then again, this is a lengthy calculation. Okay, so I'll give you all the direct answer. 3.142857. Then the values get repeated again. 142857. It keeps repeating. 142857. So 22 by 7, MCQ question. Make a note of this. 22 by 7 is a repeating decimal. Look, this 1.22857 keeps repeating. This part will keep repeating. And if the values are repeating, look, 3 is repeating here. You don't write like this. We write it like 0.3. You write a dash on top of that. This dash indicates that the values are repeating. You can also write it like dot. On top of the repeating values, you can write dot. For this, it is 3.142857 dash or 3.142857. In the beginning number and on the last number, you keep a dot. So this is about repeating or recurring. Names are different, concept is the same. Ananya, are you doing it? Ananya, Kia, Abigail? Yes, sir. Okay, others, all of you, did you all understand this topic? Recurring, repeating? Yes, sir. Okay, 3 dash, that's it. See, there are two ways to do this, students. Both the ways I've written. They either write dash. Okay, you put a dash on top of repeating, or two dots. Look at the two dots on the beginning number and on the last number. Two dots like this. You can put a bar or dot. Completed. Shall I erase it? All of you have made a note of this. Okay, if you're still taking it down, let me know, students. Okay, fine, fine. Just the values 1 by 3. I think it's there in your textbook. Once you can check that. And all these are fraction. It has numerator by denominator. Yes. Yeah, all these are fractions. Okay, what about Angel Ania done? Yes, sir. Made a note of it. Okay, next. 11 by 6 students. What's the answer for 11 by 6? Try 11 by 6. See, look at the denominator and tell me, is it terminating or non-terminating? Look at the denominator. Non-terminating. Very good. Because when you try to split 6, you get 2 into 3. It's a non-terminating. And find the value of this. Sir, I already given the question, sir. I already gave this. Okay, what did you get, Abigail? What did we get? The answer 1.83, right? Okay. You get 1.833 students. Again, 3 is repeating. What kind of number is this? 11.6. What kind of fraction? Repeating or recurring decimal? Okay. Repeating or recurring. You will write it as 1.83. And where do I apply the dash? Where do I put the dash? Which one is correct? On top. Yeah, which one is correct? The second. Second. Very good. Second one. In MCQ, they can give you even these type of questions. If you know the concept, you can answer. To look, it is simple. Only 3 is repeating students. Whichever is repeating, only on top of that you put a dash. Or you can even write 1.83, a dot on top of it. Okay, that's it. So, whatever we have covered so far, I'll just write it. You understand? Fraction. In fraction, when you divide any fraction, you get decimal. In decimal, we have 3 types. One is terminating decimal. What's the other type? Non-terminating. Then, what's the other type, students? Terminating, non-terminating, then recurring, recurring or repeating. Okay. Then we have another 2 types. I'll explain that. Decimal one. Okay, fractions. Remember these 3. Fine. Can you give me an example for terminating? Direct answer, like what is terminating? For example, 0.25, the value ends, right? Non-terminating, what about non-terminating? The value goes on, right? 0.25368, it goes on. Recurring, what is recurring, students? Repeats. For example, if I write 0.25, last number repeats. Not only last number, here, it can even repeat like this 0.2525. Okay. Yeah, in fraction. In fraction, there are another 2 types of fraction, decimal fraction and vulgar fraction. Which main is cancelled? I think vulgar fraction is cancelled. Second is cancelled? Yes, sir. Okay, so second one, it's cancelled. Decimal fraction, students. So what do you mean by fraction? In the beginning, I explained what is fraction. You get numerator by denominator. Denominator is fraction. Decimal fraction is nothing but the denominator always in the power of 10, tens and hundreds. For example, 7 by 10 is a decimal fraction. Okay, 7 by 10, 7 by 100, 7 by 1000. Anything to the power of 10. Anything to the power of 10, we call it as decimal fraction. And the reason behind that is, look here, let us divide. First, let me take 7 by 10. How do you divide 7 by 10? What's the answer for 7 by 10? Okay, other students, yes, Ananya, Abigail, and Kia, they're attending. Angel, Ruth, and Ania. Do you all know shifting method, students? Do you all know shifting method? When you divide by 10, yes, sir. 0, what's the answer you get? 0.7. Okay, when you divide by 100, 0.07. Okay, if you don't know this, I'll teach. I'll teach this shifting method. What about Angel? Did you know this? Yes, sir. Okay, see, 7 divided by 100, students. 7 divided by 100 is 0.07. I'll just quickly explain that concept. These are known as decimal fraction. Decimal fraction is nothing but when you divide anything to the power of 10 under 1000. See, for example, 7.5 multiply by 10. There is a concept called shifting method. Multiply by 10. In multiplication, which side does m go? Left hand side or right hand side? Alphabet m. On the right hand side, we usually write it like this. Yes, so this decimal, students, wherever the decimal is placed, how many zeros are there in 10? How many zeros? 1 0. So the decimal goes 1 position right hand side. What's the answer? 7.5 into 10 is 75. Yes, remember this, for multiplication, the decimal will go on the right hand side. Yeah, now multiply 7.5, 7.328 into 100. How many zeros do we have? For 100, how many zeros? Two zeros? Okay, for multiplication, where will this point go? Left hand side or right hand side? 1, 2. What's the final answer? 732.8. 732.8. For multiplication, right hand side, then what would be for division? Which side the decimal we should travel? Left hand side. See, 738, let me divide by 100. 7.328 divide by 100, students. When you divide, the decimal is in between 7 and 3. There are two zeros for division left hand side. So what's the final answer? 0.07328. Okay, understood this? Ruth, Ania, Angel? Shifting method. Yeah, we call it a shifting method. If you know that, yes, that is known as decimal fraction concept. That is only decimal fraction. And vulgar fraction is cancelled. So what do you mean by decimal fraction, students? A fraction whose denominator in the power of is in the power of 10. Anything to the power of 100, anything to the power of 1000, like this, 10,000. But if you write 30, this is not a decimal fraction. Okay, it has 3 into 10. It shouldn't be like this. It should be only in the form of 10, 100,000. So it is easy for us to keep the decimal. Now give me the answer for this: 3.7154, 32.56. Wait, let me erase. See, I've given you all three questions. Give me the final answer for this, students. I've given three fraction. Give me the answer in terms of decimal. How much is 3.7 divided by 10? When there is 1 0, this is a fraction, right? It is a fraction. When there is 1 0, very good. This decimal should go on the left hand side. What do you get? 0.37. Next question. Try the next one. 0.154. Okay, let me check. 0.154. Try all three. You'll get questions like this. They'll give you one fraction value and they'll tell you to convert into decimal fraction. So we have numerator by denominator. If you convert by decimal fraction, these are the answers. Okay, what about other students? Ananya, Abigail, Kia. Second one, divide by 100, students. Divide by 100. Which side the decimal travels? Left hand side, two position. Answer is 0.154. For 1000, here, how many decimals are there in the denominator, Kia? For 1000. How many zeros are there? Three zeros. So decimal should travel left hand side. How many positions? Three positions. 1, 2, 3. What's the final answer? 0.03256. Correct. Very good. Okay, 32.56 divided by 1000. There are three zeros. So three position, 1, 2, 3. If one position is vacant, what do you write here? Before 3, what do you put here? 0. Right? So the decimal is gone. The decimal is gone. It becomes 0.03256. All of you all got the same answer? Yes, sir. Done? Okay. This is what you call it as decimal fraction, students. These are decimal numbers. Okay. Is the vulgar number that term not there? Like, we're not going to study that? Yes. Is it cancelled? Ruth, yes, Ruth. Somebody told me it was cancelled. Okay. Vulgar fraction. The second one is cancelled, right? Vulgar fraction. So even the seventh one is cancelled. Okay, I'll just explain. See, it is cancelled, but still I'll explain the difference between vulgar fraction and decimal fraction. They're just opposite, students. They're just opposite to each other. What do you mean by vulgar decimal fraction? What is decimal fraction? The denominator should be in the power of 10, hundreds, or thousand, right? I mean, in the power of 10. So this is known as decimal fraction. Vulgar fraction is just opposite. The denominator will not be in the power of 10. For example, 20, 73, 125. Are these in the power of tens? Are they in the power of tens? No. That's it. This is known as vulgar fraction. Just remember the concept, vulgar fraction. Decimal fraction, vulgar fraction. For vulgar fraction, the denominators will never be in the power of 10, hundreds, and thousand. Vulgar fraction. So that's it. All this concept is done. Ruth, is it clear? Did you understand? Yes, sir. I just had a doubt if it was cancelled or not. Okay, no, it is cancelled, but just remember this vulgar fraction, the denominators are not in the power of tens. Yes, sir. Okay, what about Ania, Angel? Yes, sir. Everything is clear. Do you all have any doubts in this? Any doubts? So that's it, students. Almost all the concept is clear. We'll solve few questions. Okay, we'll start solving few questions. Look at the first main. Without actual division, find which of the following are terminating. What do you mean by terminating? It has to have an end. End. What do you check in that? You check the what values? Denominators. Right? I'll solve the first question. You don't have to divide. You just check the denominators. Try. We just check the denominators. Yes, tell me. Somebody has doubt. Okay, 9 by 25, students. 9 by 25. Look at the denominators. Find the factors of 25. Factorize 25. 5 5s are 5 1s are. So how much is terminating? We have two 5s in it, right? What is the rule, students? What is the rule for terminating? The denominator should have what kind of numbers? 2 and 5 only. Remember this, only 2 and 5. It can have how many n number of 2 and 5? For example, 2 into 2 into 2 into 5. It can have n number of 2 and 5 repeating, but only 2 and 5 should be there. What about the next one? Without solving, tell me the next one. 12. What about 12? Try the second, third, students. Non-terminating. Yes, very good. Yeah, 12 is non-terminating. Good. Hmm. I want you all to try third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. I'll give you all 5 minutes time. Try these questions. I'll discuss later. Okay, look here. First point, all of you all stop writing. Whenever a question is given, for example, 6 by 10, before finding whether it is terminating or non-terminating, you have to reduce to the lowest term. What did we get after reducing to the lowest term? 6 by 10 is nothing but 3 by 5. Now 3 by 5. Tell me whether 3 by 5 is terminating or non-terminating. Look at the denominator, students. Look at the denominator. Terminating, good. Terminating. And so today 6 o'clock. Yeah, Ania Fatima, right? Name is Ania Fatima. Are you fasting? I forgot about that, Ania. It's 6:53. You want to leave? No. Okay, you broke the fast. Fine. Another 5 minutes. I'll end the class. Up to 7, you all will have. Hmm. Okay, try this question, student. I think first main everything easy. You all can try. Just remember this: when fraction is given, reduce to the lowest term. Reduce to the lowest term, and then you can try it. Sir, the third question, 13 by 16 is, we can't reduce it, so we can just check the. Yeah, you can directly do it. Yes. Yes, you can directly do it. Ruth, right? Yes, exactly. Yeah, if you're not able to reduce, do it, students. You can solve it. You can't reduce 13 by 16. Okay, 13, yes. 13 by 16 is terminating. I think you'll get 2 into 2, 4 times, right? Yes. And I don't know the other students who were joined now, these 3 students. Did you all go through exponents, 8th standard exponents? How do you write this 2 when it is repeated 4 times? How do you use product law? 2 to the power of 4. Okay, it is 2 to the power of 4. There are 2 ways of writing it. You can write 13 divided by 2 like this, or 13 divided by 4. And later you can write it is terminating. Give the reason. The denominator is in the multiples of 2. So therefore it is terminating. Yes, sir. Okay. Next 121, 125. That's it. So mostly tomorrow we might complete this and start with the next exercise. All the explanation is done. All the explanation part is done. You can try this. This is cancelled. Okay, fine. Yeah, what about Ananya? Ananya, Kia, doing it? Yeah, fine, students. Ananya, Kia, any doubts? Okay. See, there are how many questions, students? Fine. 7, 8, 9, 10. You can try it for homework. I've taught you the method. Try it for homework. Second main is cancelled. Third main. Read the question. Convert each of the following fraction. All these are fraction because it has numerator and denominator into decimal. What do you mean by decimal? Decimal numbers. It should have a point, right? Yes, sir. It should have a point. Okay, all the decimal numbers which has point. Now, how do you convert the first question, students? 1 by 8. 1 by 8 is a decimal number or a fraction? 1 by 8. Third main first question. It's a fraction. Simple. Yes. Divide this 0 0.0. What do you get? 8 ones are 8. Try this question. See, it doesn't matter whether it's recurring, terminating, nothing. We just need to find the decimal value. You can try the first. We'll do the first one. You can try third question. Fifth question for homework. I'll mark few questions. Third question, fifth one. In first main, you all can try seventh question, ninth, 10th. Total 5 questions for homework. Yeah, Delicia, unmute the call, Delicia. Are you online? Yes, sir. Okay, class is still going on. Log in at 7:15, Delicia. Okay. Log in after 15 minutes. I'll teach. Okay. Yes, you can leave. Sir, the classes every day? Yeah, every day from Monday to Friday, or Monday to Friday, take classes. Monday to Friday, 1 hour class, 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes. Okay, I'll explain all this once the class gets over. If the class gets over, rejoin. I want Ania, Angel, and Ruth to rejoin. Okay, if the meeting gets over. Yes. Yes. Okay. Another 10 minutes. I just want to talk to you, these 3 students. Okay, what's the answer for 1/8 students? 0.125. Are you getting 0.125? Yeah, this is how we do it. Simple question. Simple question. Try these questions for homework. From fourth main onwards, we'll do it tomorrow. 7, 9, 10. Third main, third and fifth. Completed for homework. I will note the questions. Yeah. Noted. Okay. Now I'll end the meeting, students. I'll end the meeting. That's it for today. Abigail, Ananya, Kia. Do you all have any doubts in this? Abigail, Ananya, Kia. No, sir. Okay.